does that say? Chocolate makes my clothes shrink.
Yep.
I don't know about that.
Have a look at this, guys. Look at that. You see what that says? It says chocolate makes my clothes shrink.
Well, I don't know about that, Con. Anyway, it's Con and Nikki from ConikiTV. And today, episode 7 is called Shut Your Mouth
And Lose Some Weight.
And we're not trying to be rude.
No.
We're just trying to be honest. So what does that mean? That means if your mouth is closed, there can't be anything going in it.
So the question is, at what point should you close your mouth? As we say, shut your mouth. So if you have a fork in front of you and you just keep, and you don't stop, you're going to eventually work through a whole amount of food. So the trick is, if you're going to lose weight, one of the first things you want to do is stop adding calories into your body, right? So episode 7 today, the title being Shut Your Mouth and Lose Some Weight, is all about knowing when to shut your mouth, okay? So in other words, you know, a lot of people ask the question, you know, what's the perfect proportion of proteins, carbs, fats? Are protein powders okay? Should I eat organic food? None of that matters, really, at the end of the day. I mean, that's going to contribute to your health. Yeah? Like better choices of foods
Obviously,
contribute
to health. But today we're focusing on how much are you eating? Like, how much are you eating? Are you eating a gigantic plate full of food and you just continue to open your mouth and shove it in because it's there?
Yeah,
you know?
what I was trying to say before Nikki said that, which is very good, Nikki, but the point we're trying to make is that people are focusing on the wrong thing. Like, for example, if you are overweight, you're going to say, well, I need to join a gym, or I need to change my diet, or look, if you have too much weight on your body, the only reason you have too much weight is not because you're sick, it's not because you broke your leg, it's not because you can't get to the gym, it's because you eat too much. That's all it is. So step number 1 is, like, yes, you can choose what you're going to eat and that will contribute to your health. So for example, what I was trying to say before is that if you eat rubbish food and it's still only the amount of calories that you need, will you put on weight? No. If you eat good food and it's only the calories that you need, are you going to put on weight?
No, you won't.
No, because if you burn this much and you eat this much, your weight won't change. If you burn this much but you only eat this much, your weight's going to drop. If you burn this much but you eat that much, your weight's going to go up. So it doesn't matter what you eat. What you eat determines the health of the body, right?
That's right.
How much you eat determines your weight. So the number one thing, without any shadow of a doubt, let's not misunderstand this, right? Before we get on to any tangents, right?
What do you mean by that?
Nothing, honey, nothing. No, well, the number one thing, so there's no misunderstanding like this, excuse me, like that's a misunderstanding, right? Like people think that chocolate makes my clothes shrink. No, you make your clothes shrink by eating too much chocolate, right? Is the number one thing that you need to do, the immediate thing you need to do, the highest priority thing you need to do if you're trying to lose weight is stop eating.
That's right.
Right, so Nikki now is going to talk about what that actually means and how we can actually stop eating, considering what we've got here.
Yeah, there's various ways that we can gauge how much we should eat. But as Con said, if your primary focus is to lose weight, and you're gaining weight, then you need to eat less. How are you going to do that?
So can I ask you a question?
Yes.
If you're gaining weight, what does that mean?
That means your intake is too high for the energy you're expending.
That's right. So you're eating more calories than what you burn.
That's right.
It doesn't disappear into thin air.
It's not rocket science.
It disappears under your skin.
Yes.
That's where it disappears.
Yes.
Right?
You get the few extra bumps and curves in the places that you don't want.
So if you so let's say you've been training for a week.
Yes.
And you're pushing really, really hard. You're doing our workouts, and your weight hasn't changed. What does that mean? That
means if you're wanting to lose the weight, that means your intake does not meet your expenditure. In other words, you're taking in too many calories, you're eating too much, you need to slow it and cut it right back till the point you start losing weight. And it's not rocket science.
Okay.
People say, how many calories should I take? If you cut your intake of food and your weight is dropping, you know you're on the right path. If you're eating and your food's not, and your weight's not budging, then you know you need to reduce your intake.
So again, to summarize, if your weight is going down, that means you are expending more, you are burning more energy just being alive than what you are consuming. Everything you eat has calories in it. Calories are energy. Your body uses them to stay alive. If at the end of the day it used less than what you ate, that extra gets stored as fat. Make no misunderstandings about that. It is super clear. Regardless of what you're doing, if you're training, if you're walking every day, 5 miles a day, if you're, doing special therapies that miraculously make weight disappear, or you're using one of the latest exercise gadgets available from TV that guarantee that you can lose all your weight in less than 5 minutes a day from the comfort of your home.
Plus being able to store it underneath your bed.
Yeah, that's right. Well, then that simply means you're just eating too much food. So if your weight is up, we'll say it again, we really need to make a point of this, right? If your weight is up, and you're trying to get it down, what's the one thing you got to do?
Stop
eating. Stop eating.
Stop eating. Not entirely. Just stop eating as much as you're eating now, and eating less to the point that you find that you're starting to lose weight.
Oh, but I'm hungry.
Well, you won't be hungry if you're eating good quality food.
But we can talk about that at another time.
That's
so we
right.
also have other episodes which we call You Are What You Eat.
Yes.
So what are you?
That's right.
That's an episode, I don't know which one. So watch that and I'll explain that. But today, what's one system that you can utilize right now that's going to help you get control of your weight immediately, not after a week. So just going to say one thing. I had an appointment last night with someone that's coming here to train with us, and one of the things she said was, I've tried this and I've tried that, it hasn't really worked, etc. What you say, you didn't try hard enough, or you tried the wrong things. It's very simple. If you do what you're supposed to do, if you work out every day, you should see a change every day. Every day. You go to sleep that night, your body repairs itself. You'll see a change. If there's small changes, you might not notice them, but you will see a change every day. And if you change your diet and reduce the amount of calories that you're having, you will also see a change. So, okay, so we got that through, right? So if we're trying to lose weight, what's the first thing we should do?
Shut your mouth.
What's the highest priority?
Reduce your intake. Reduce your intake. Shut your mouth. Reduce your intake until you're losing what you need to be losing on a weekly, daily, monthly basis.
How long should it take?
You should notice the change immediately. One day. One day. The next day you should notice a difference. Okay.
Right. But if you're a bit ill, your poo, your excrement, your feces is not being expelled. Remember, you've got about 6 meters of small intestine, about 1.5 meters of large intestine. Work it out, that's 7.5 meters of somewhere to store gunk. And most people who are overweight, you'll find, although they go to the toilet on a very regular basis, they're pushing it in on one end and pushing it out on the other end. So the entire length of this thing is full. So initially when people try and adopt a healthy lifestyle or try to lose weight, usually in the first few weeks, they're not going to the toilet, it's just backlogging. So that's when you can do one of our detoxes, which is free, doesn't cost anything, we don't make anything out of this.
No secret pills or potions.
Right? Clean out, and then you watch, from then on it should be a daily basis. You shouldn't wait a week to watch weight drop. It should be daily.
It should be happening daily.
So what's your miraculous system?
Oh, the new, just for you today. Look, a great system that we use, and a lot of successful people that want to lose weight use, is very, very simple. Now, when we eat dinner, lunch, breakfast, everyone's used to seeing this, a dinner plate. How big is that dinner plate? Now, whether you're male, female, whether 50 kilos, whether you're 150 kilos, people usually eat off the same plate. Now, do we need to have the same calories? No, we don't. Oh, miraculously, we have a smaller plate. Now, if you are eating off a humongous dinner plate like this, and you are not losing weight, but you are gaining weight, a great, miraculous way to lose weight is to change the size of your plate.
Wow, that's an incredible idea.
Oh my God. And it won't cost you anything. You just go to your cupboard, grab a smaller plate, and when you're having your breakfast, lunch or dinner, fill up the small plate. Not high, but fill it up so your portion is smaller and settle for that, okay? If you cut your portion sizes, if you cut your plate size in half or thirds, guess what? Your portion size will be the same, half or third of what you're eating. And miraculously, I'm sure that most of you will find that you will actually then start to lose weight.
Look, your brain is very simple, okay? If you train a dog, for example, and you put a barrier around its perimeter, it could be something as simple as a piece of cotton string. If you train the dog to understand that's a barrier, it won't break that barrier. It understands that's the end. Well, this is your string. You know, see this outline? That's your plate. You fill up this plate, right? But you don't fill it up that way, right? You fill it up across, right? If you eat this 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day, whatever the number is, and you are putting on weight, well, guess what? You're eating too much. If you get this plate and you put food on it, and you eat that 3, 4, 5, or 6 times a day, and you're putting on weight, guess what? You're eating too much. If you get this plate and you fill it up and you eat from here 3, 4, 5, or 6 times a day, whatever your numbers are, and you're putting on weight, well, then you must be a very small person. No. Or you're not moving much. You're not moving much, right? So if this is a really small bowl, right, very small, that could be a great portion size. You know, if you eat 6 times a day, every 3 hours, which is a lot, right? But basically if you have breakfast, lunch and dinner, and a snack in between breakfast and lunch, snack in between lunch and dinner, and maybe something after dinner, as long as it's an early dinner, there's your 6 meals. If you eat breakfast, lunch and dinner, and a snack in between each, there's 5 meals. So 5 small meals a day should cover most people very easily. And if you eat regularly, like every 3 hours, really not much longer than that, your blood sugar will stay steady. And if the food is high quality, but what I mean by that is high quality supplied by nature, not packet food. Remember, watch our other episode on You Are What You Eat, so what are you? And it'll explain all that. But assuming you've already seen that, you choose the right sort of foods, well then you won't have hunger. You will be satisfied. Your blood sugar won't fluctuate up or down. When your blood sugar drops, your brain goes, eat. If you eat the wrong food, your blood sugar spikes up really, really fast. It peaks. It's called a spike. And then what happens is your body drops it because it's dangerous to have your blood sugar very, very high. And then what happens is it drops below what it should be normally. So you go onto this what we call yo-yo effect, and you get hungry shortly after you've eaten. Junk food does that. So, to summarize, this might be your starting point. Reduce your bowl size substantially.
Yeah, reduce your bowl size, reduce your plate size, okay?
Not from that, but from that. Imagine that. Look at the difference. So do this, and that's an extreme for you, but try it. Instead of eating 3 times a day, eat 6 times a day or 5 times. Yes. And then watch what happens to your body. And if you're finding you're dropping weight, well, that's good. Now, that's your portion size determines that. How much weight should you drop?
Oh, well, theoretically they say half a kilo to a kilo a week is a nice amount of weight.
How about if you weigh 150 kilos?
Well, you might lose a couple of kilos a week.
That's right. How about if you only weigh 50 kilos?
Well, a half a kilo is probably a good...
Or even a quarter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying...
It varies depending on your starting weight. That's right. And depending on how full your bowel is.
Yeah.
So, and depending on how hydrated you are, all those things come into play. So, yeah, it varies.
Yeah. Just come closer, honey. It's Valentine's Day.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So, I suppose the take-home message in our title of our talk today being shut your mouth and lose some weight is that you need to shut your mouth when the time comes. If you serve food onto the table, you know, in serving dishes, or you're at a buffet, etc., and you can serve yourself, you tend to fill up the plate. If you watch people where they go to all you can eat, they just fill up the plate. What you need to do is change a plate. Get rid of the old one, add the new one, and eat from that. Fill that up. Right?
You need to make a conscious decision that you're going to eat from a certain size plate, and that's how much you're going to eat.
But not serve from the centre of the table. One of the worst things you can do is sit down at a dinner table, and in the centre of the table have all the different foods that you're going to eat that day, and everyone serves from that. Look, if you have an issue with weight, chances are that's probably how you're doing it, right? Get rid of that. Cook the food, set it all up, serve the plates, put the plates on the table, sit down to that meal, eat it slowly, and at the end of that, stop. Right? So as we say, shut your mouth and lose some weight. You just, once you've taken that last spoonful out of this small bowl, stop. Now that is a good sized bowl. I'll just show you what it looks like. It's 2 hands. Just have a look at the shape of it and the size of it. That is a good portion size for almost anyone, including me, and also Nikki. Now, like the most you would have if you're training hard might only be 6 of these a day, depending on what's in it. If you're having vegetables and they're just being steamed, a vegetable, doesn't have really many calories, but it's got heaps of nutrition.
Absolutely.
So vitamins and minerals and that sort of stuff. So you can eat a lot of vegetables. Proteins, on the other hand, contain a lot of fat and a lot of protein.
Right. So we don't want to eat as much.
Yeah, well, they're very dense. So you need to have a balance of foods, basically the stuff that we said.
But also understand another important note is that in the past, most of us have been trained to eat till we're full. Now you must get rid of that out of your lives. It's not important, that feeling of fullness. We don't need to feel full. What's wrong with just feeling comfortable, okay?
Because full is bloated.
Full is bloated. You've gone too far. If you have the right portion size, you will feel comfortable, okay? And then when you eat in a couple more hours, your energy will be consistent. It'll be coming. You won't have any peaks and troughs. You won't feel exhausted after you've had a meal. You won't feel starving. Your energy levels will be constant. So please, forget being full. You just want to feel comfortable, enjoy your food. Like Con said, chew slowly. What's the rush? Sit down and eat your food. Try not to eat it on the run. Sit at the table, enjoy it with your friends and family, and those are all ways that you can reduce your intake.
And when you get to the end of whatever's contained in this bowl, what should you do?
Shut your mouth.
That's it. That's it. Walk away. Finish it, right?
Finish it. Pack away.
And in a couple of hours, 3 hours later, have another bowl. What you'll find is you'll be more comfortable. You'll feel better. You won't even probably be hungry. The worst thing to do is to eat when you're hungry, right? That means you let it go too long. And if you're consistent at this, miracles will happen. That is the solution, right? Isn't it? I mean, it really is. So we're not trying to be rude by saying, shut your mouth and lose some weight. But that's basically what it is. It's stop. Just stop having, stop serving.
Finish, make that conscious decision to stop. And you know what? Don't sit at the table looking at the food. Get up, go and do something else. Read a book, listen to some music. Get yourself away from that environment. Take your stuff away and then come back to it at another time.
Right, let me ask you a question, Nikki. Let's say you're really, really hungry and I've cooked something spectacular.
Yes.
And you go to the pantry and there's 2 plates in there.
Yes.
But you're starving.
Yes.
I mean, like, I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying, let's say you're really starving. What does your brain tell you? Which plate would you take?
Your brain tells you the large one.
That one.
Of course it does.
Right, and you choose with your mind, right? And because you're hungry, you scoff it down, you're swallowing your food rather than chewing it. And before you know it, you've finished that plate. And you're consuming it quicker than your body can sense you've taken it in. And before you know it, you've eaten way too much. At which point you get the sensation of fullness. You've gone too far. You need to stop before you get hungry. So don't come home from work, you haven't eaten for about 5 hours because it's late.
Yeah,
go to the fridge, open it up and look inside and start eating cheese and olives and bread. Do you know who I'm talking about? Anyone in particular? Hey? Starts with E? Anyway. Yeah, but anyway, you know who you are. But just say, when you do that, you just consume, you overeat, you're tired because it's late at night, you sit on the couch, you flick on the idiot box, that's the television, and you sit there and you just mellow out, pass out. It's now night time, you've got a full tummy full of food, you're exhausted, you go to sleep with a full tummy full of food. Your body's trying to repair itself, but it's also got to digest a full tummy full of food.
Yeah, and you wake up feeling exhausted, like you haven't had a good night's sleep.
So if, Nikki, you chose this
as
opposed to that, how would you feel after that?
I'd feel great.
Content?
Yeah, I'd feel great.
Would you feel bloated?
No, I'd feel very, very comfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
If you wait a few minutes after you finish the plate, how would you feel after that?
Oh, I'd still feel great.
Even more content?
Yeah.
But let's say you rushed and you had this plate. What would be the sensation? Because we've all done it,
as soon as you do it, you'd feel really full and you think, oh, great. But you know what? A short while after, it's almost, you feel very lethargic, you have no energy, you know, you're ready for a bit of a nana nap. Give me a couch, somewhere to rest my head.
And you couldn't be bothered going for a walk or doing a training session, which then feeds this problem of lethargy and laziness. Now, in some countries, we have an obesity issue that exceeds over 50% of the population, and they are the most powerful westernised countries in the world. And not only are people obese in those countries, but they're morbidly obese, which means the obesity is now affecting their health. And we'd really like to encourage you to adjust that way of thinking. Start off by replacing this plate with this plate, or you might have a bigger plate, right? And just eat that and stop. 3 hours later, if you need to eat again from this, okay? And then 3 hours later, do the same. You should never exceed 6 meals. At the end of the day, if you have consumed all that, what's your weight on a daily basis? When's the best time to weigh yourself?
First thing in the morning.
Yeah, the scales are good. Forget about people tell that's all bull. At the end of the day, you weigh what you weigh. You don't want to weigh yourself when you're the lightest. The best time for you to weigh yourself is as soon as you wake up in the morning. Not when you wake up and go to the toilet and do a poo or do a wee or cut your hair so you're lighter and take your watch off so you look a little bit lighter. The best time to weigh yourself is as soon as you wake up in the morning. Be consistent, do it all the time, do it every day. Get yourself a little book and write it down. Right. The other thing is keep your water up, guys. Food is one thing, but water is the other. Your body's predominantly water. At least 70% of your body is water.
Yeah, keep yourself hydrated, because sometimes too, when you're dehydrated, your body might be asking for water, and you're actually thinking you're hungry, but it's not necessarily so. Sometimes we're a bit dehydrated, and our body just needs a glass of water. So maybe next time you're feeling a bit peckish, have yourself a glass of water and see about 10 minutes later, are you still hungry or are you happy? But you need to be hydrated.
Yeah. So the thing I was also about to say is that if you do a little test, when you go to sleep, just before you go to bed, weigh yourself and on a piece of paper write down your weight. Ideally a digital scale would be great. I'll say that again, a digital scale. So it's got decimal points in it so you can be exact. Then go to sleep, wake up the next morning, the first thing you do is weigh yourself again. The average person will lose about 1 to 1.5 kilos of weight during their sleep. Where does that come from? If you're uncertain, go up to a mirror and go, and what you'll find is the mirror will steam up with moisture. So every breath you took whilst you were sleeping, you were exhaling water. If you lose a kilo, that's 1 litre. 1 mil of liquid is 1 gram. So if you've lost a kilo, you've lost a litre of water. Okay, that'll be in the morning. So make sure you drink your water, get yourself hydrated, and your weight might actually go up until you start holding your water. But the number one thing is, guys, the take-home message is what, Nikki? What's the take-home message?
Change your serving size. Change it from this plate to that plate.
So get rid of this one. I'm just going to throw it out the window now.
No.
Smash!
It's not a Greek function. We're not breaking plates. Change your plate size, your bowl size, okay?
But which one should you choose?
You should choose the smaller one, okay?
I'll throw this one out too.
No.
That's it.
Reduce the size, and if your goal is to lose weight, reduce it until you start to lose weight and keep on that size. If you're not losing the weight, keep on reducing it until such time as you start losing weight.
And that's it.
It's not rocket science, okay?
That's it. There's nothing else, guys. It's not. You don't need to go to a special doctor or anything like that. 99.999999 to 1,000 decimal places % of the population simply eats too much, and you think you're not, right? Your body will change if you start on that. Okay, just eat more often. and before you know it, you'll be fine. If you eat more often, your blood sugar won't fluctuate, so you won't want as much, okay? Keep it up, and before you know it, it'll all be gone. Of course, if you're sick and you really need to consult a doctor, by all means, I do so. But the reality is, drop your portion size, serve food directly to a plate, don't serve from the dinner table, take the plate to the dinner table, sit down, eat from that plate, and when you finish the contents of this plate, you should
get up.
Now shut your mouth. Stop putting stuff in there and walk away. So shut your mouth first and then walk away. It's that simple. Start doing that and things will change. You think that's crude? It's called the truth. And we call it brutal honesty. It is brutal, but we tell you the truth. And by us telling you the truth, you know exactly what you need to do. It's not a gimmick. You don't need any special pill. There's no miracle gadget. There's no therapy you've got to spend $100 a session on. It's none of that, guys. You simply change your food to healthy food, and you can find out about that on our other episodes. And then change your portion size, finish that, serve it directly to the plate. I know we've said this 1,000 times, haven't we? But we're trying to get it through to you, okay? Reduce your portion size, eat more often, and that should be it.
That's it. I feel like I've run a marathon now. So, that's what we wanted to let you know today. You need to shut your mouth in a good way. Shut your mouth after you've eaten your food, eat healthy food, and lose the weight that you've always wanted to lose. And you can do it right now. And it won't cost you a cent. So, we have other episodes of ConikiTV on our website, www.ConikiTV.com. So, if you haven't seen any of those, please go back and watch them. They're very entertaining, and there's one specifically on what to eat. What should you eat? So, go and watch that. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. Now, we've got 2 recipes up this week. We've got a beautiful Valentine's Day chocolate cake.
That's my alarm. Now I'll go turn it off. You go on, honey.
We've got a beautiful Valentine's Day chocolate cake, which is very naughty, but it's meant to be for special occasions like Valentine's Day or days off. So you can have a small slice of that. But we also have a beautiful, healthy prawn, avocado and mango salad, which is absolutely delicious and very, very healthy. So go and see the recipes, and maybe if we've motivated you enough to get up and go and do it, go and do one of our 3-minute or 15-minute workouts. We love doing them for you. We've had great feedback. So please go to our website and have a sticky pig.
I'm Con.
I'm Nikki.
Thank you for watching episode 7 of the ConikiTV show.
And happy Valentine's Day.
Bye.
Bye.